Welcome to Success Unpacked, the official podcast of the Student Success Center at Eastern Illinois University. Now, here are your hosts, Amber Webb, Jesse Shoemaker, and Danny Gurley Fisher.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Success Unpacked. We are your hosts. My name is Amber Webb. I'm the Director of Academic Support.
I'm Jesse Shoemaker. I'm the Director for the Office of Accessibility and Accommodations.
And I'm Danny Gurley Fisher, Director for Academic Advising Services.
And today we have with us a wonderful guest. He is the Acting Dean of the Student Success Center, Dr. Michael Gillsepie.
Thank you.
Now, is it okay if we call you Dr. G?
You can call me Dr. G.
We're going to ask Dr. G some questions to find out, well, let's just start with something very simple. What's a dean?
It's a good question. So dean roles are different depending on the academic units that they're assigned to, but generally, if you think about the structure of a university, you have the president, and you have the provost, who's the chief academic officer, then the deans really head up the academic units. So a dean is in charge of, if this were a college, the academic programs, the faculty, the planning, strategic planning, but also the planning that goes into hiring and those types of things. For this unit, the dean really looks at the support resources for our students. So it is the Student Success Center. So we're really looking at building the scaffolding for how our students can become successful. So we work across all of the colleges, work across the entire campus, and serve them for that. So I'm charged with being the sort of the vision, but also the strategic leader for the area, and working with the directors like you three and our other colleagues to help make those things materialize, to see those things through, and to work with you to make sure that the programs that you are directing and support are supported.
So, Michael, you were new to this position.
Yes.
You recently moved over here from the FDIC.
Yes.
What are you most excited about? Like, what made you interested in the Student Success Center?
The thing that made me most interested is that it allows me to do why I got into higher ed. So I had a tremendous experience as an undergrad. I have a very similar story to many of our students. I was on academic warning, failed an introductory sociology class, took it over, and it changed my life. But I never forgot about that moment when I was a student and I was really struggling. And so it was moments like that instead of going straight through academia, I got a social work degree so that I could have that background, so I could learn how to work with students, but also learn how to plan and program and work with budgets and do it in a way that's social justice oriented, which is really important to me. But also then on this, as I progressed through the ranks of being an assistant, then associate, then a full professor, and then taking over faculty development, gave me a taste of the administrative life a little bit, and it really showed me how the impact that you can make when you are a leader and when you're an administrator. And so when this opportunity was presented to me to do this, I took a hard look at sort of what my own personal mission was, and everything that happens here really aligns with the reasons that I got into higher ed.
So it sounds like you maybe have experienced, some academic struggles during your time in college. Were there any resources or different things that you did or utilized to be able to get back on track academically?
So I developed a great relationship with my faculty members, with a few professors who have, one of them still lifelong mentor, and that was really impactful for me. But I think the thing that was the hardest was that I didn't have that kind of infrastructure. It was there, but it wasn't at the same level as I think we have it now at universities, and so I struggled a lot just to be able to do what I needed to do to be successful. I got involved on campus. I ended up running the campus radio station, which was great, but that was also a big distraction from my academics, and as you're shaking your heads, you kind of understand, that sort of story. But if it wasn't for the connections that I made with people on campus, either my professors or my peers, that was really my support system. And so I was in college a long time ago, and things are different now. Students are different, resources are different, the backgrounds and the stories of our students are different than our own stories, and even just the culture and the environment that we're in is a lot different. And so that support system looks a lot different now. And so I oftentimes think about when I'm teaching, I would always talk to new faculty, and I was mentoring them. I was thinking about always strive to be the teacher that I wanted. And so I think I have that similar mindset now, is in terms of, so what would I have wanted as a student who was on academic warning, who was working 2 jobs. I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. Those kinds of things. Now as I see those students coming through, what could I have found help from that I think there can get some help from?
So Dr. G, we, of course, with Success Unpacked, will be previewing more of the academic support options available in the Student Success Center, but can you give us a brief overview of the portfolio? What do we have to offer students?
So we have the advising, of course. So we have the first year advising, centralized advising for our students. So when they come here, they get to meet with that awesome team, get them set up before we get them placed where their major is. And so that also includes other programs like the Gateway program, where we meet underserved students and we try to get them on a path to success and wrap ourselves around them and find ways for them to be successful. We have accessibility and accommodations, which is an important office for our students who come here who need that extra support through some accommodations. And some things that they got probably in high school before they get here, and they can transfer that over, which is really important. But also, college students have different needs because expectations in college are different as well. And so that office really, under Jesse's leadership, is really great about finding those individualized pathways. And so I really value that. The Academic Support Center, of course, is our center where we can do our tutoring and academic coaching and programming for students across our campus to help them find their pathway in that way. It's really dynamic. It's really great because it serves all of our students. Testing and evaluation operations is really great, and I think something that people don't realize is that office does a lot more than just teacher evaluations or faculty evaluations. They handle several evaluations that we do at a university level for undergraduate learning goals, but I think the most important piece of that is that also oversees our testing and accommodation labs. So students can come in, take tests, those tests are monitored, they're able to meet those accommodations for students and able to get them success as they need it to be. And then we have the TRIO Student Support Services Program, which is for my first generation college students who come in with so much promise and so much talent that we're able to really infuse programming for them to make sure that they're set up for success as well. And we have some other programs that we collaborate with other offices across campus, like our Freshman Connection and Transfer Connection program, which we work with the College of Education and Enrollment Management. And soon we will also be bringing in the Interdisciplinary Studies program, which is exciting for us because that is the type of program that is set up to do. It really provides a safety net for our students to be able to find their path to graduation and finish their degree, and to be able to really align that with everything else that's happening over here. I'm really excited about that.
That all sounds exciting, but right now, students are listening to voices on a podcast.
Yes.
Where do they find all this? Where do they find these services?
Where are we?
So we are in McAfee Gymnasium, which is directly west if you're directionally inclined from the MLK Union. We got almost the whole building to ourselves, though we're going to start to share some space with the volleyball team, which is pretty exciting. But we're spread out throughout this entire building, and it's a maze of brick and awesome people.
So Dr. G, just as a quick, soundbite for students that are listening from the Acting Dean of Student Success, what would be your top 3 pieces of advice? I know on social media, which we will be sure to link the social media information so they can follow you and see your videos. But if you had a top 3 to tell students, what they should do for success or consider doing for success, what would they be?
All right. So my first one is, it's the easiest one, go to class, right? You have to go to class. And I was even talking with students this past weekend and yesterday at our Admitted Students Day about just how different the expectations are for that between college and high school. And not just going to class, but showing up, being prepared, being engaged, doing what you need to do to be ready. It's part of the transition, I think. And so going to class isn't just showing up. It's going to classes is going in and being prepared. Like, there's work you have to do to be able to get there. The second one is correlated with that is you have to do the work. So there's deadlines, there's a schedule. You read those syllabi and really understand what the expectations are, because deadlines are deadlines in college. You might get a day on either side, but when it gets down to week 15 and you haven't done anything all semester, you can't turn everything in at the last minute. So the workload, I think, becomes intimidating, because once you let it snowball, it really starts to pile on, and then you can't dig yourself out. And so it's just staying on task, finding a way that your schedule is going to be there for you in a way that you're able to keep it. Some people like pencil and paper, some people like to use their phone, some people like to use an app. However it works for you, I think it's important, and it keeps you on task, and it's a good accountability tool. And then the third one is maybe a little bit out of the norm, but it's curate connections. And what I mean by that is curating means you have to do the work. And it's not what's happening with your coursework inside the classroom, but it's really about how you're making connections with your professors, introduce yourself, talk to them, go to their office hours, but also your peers. Get to know people who live on your floor, get to know your roommate, get to know your RA, get to know those allies across campus. Your advisor, right, is going to be an important one. And use those relationships for you to create your own pathway to success. There's a whole infrastructure of people on this campus, from those people who work in dining halls to directors in the Student Success Center, whose job it is to make you see your potential and then get you across the finish line. And you have to work on those relationships. You really have to work on building that rapport you have with individuals. And it's, I think, harder than going to class. It's harder than maybe doing the homework, but it will benefit those other things. It really is the foundation. It'll get you to class. It'll help you with your homework. You're going to have people across campus that you're automatically going to know, hey, I'm having trouble with X, Y, or Z. Here's where I need to go. And if you don't know where to go, you're going to know somebody to ask, and that person's going to know. So you have to find your people. You have to find your crowd, and you have to cultivate those relationships. And that advice, as I've given it to students over the years, has never failed. It's really that important. And still to this day, students will come back and be like, you introduced me to so-and-so, and now they wrote a letter of recommendation to me, right, or for me, and it's really super helpful that way. But you have to build those relationships.
So you mentioned, the importance of building a relationship with your professor.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes students see that professor as someone who's scary or intimidating, and they don't know how to approach
Mm-hmm.
a professor. So as a faculty member, what kind of suggestions would you have?
I think that you have to start off where your strengths are as a student. And I think when you get to this point, you probably know what you're comfortable with. And that might be an email, might be staying after class to just say, hey, I'm Bob and this is who I am. It might be showing up for office hours if you feel comfortable to do that. But faculty are probably not going to take that first step. And so one of the ways, and this goes not just with faculty, but with other folks across campus too, is take that first step. You are here to make the most of this opportunity, and that also includes you being proactive on some things. And so, but you'll be surprised that once you do that, whether it's a faculty member or it's a director or it's an advisor, that you've just opened yourself up now, because now they're going to see, oh, okay, this student really understands. The student really gets it. They want to be known, which is a good thing. You want to be known. But then you're starting automatically to build that rapport. So when you email the next time, they have a face with the name. They've had a recollection of a previous conversation. They might call you by name in class, which is one of the most validating things that you can have as a student. So just by being proactive like that, you're automatically going to start to open yourself up to be a student who's more than just an e-number, a student who's more than just a file. You're opening yourself up to be a student who's a human being as well.
Great, thank you.
So this has been the first ever episode of Success Unpacked, and we've got a whole lot more to unpack. We'll be coming at you in our next episode to talk about how to return with renewed dedication. We're about to go on spring break here on campus, and so when you get back, how do you put all your energy in to achieve the success you want? Thanks for listening.